Hi everyone. Let me know if you can, when you can hear me, and we will get started. Excuse me. Already starting to cough. It says that I'm live, so you should be able to see this soon. I'm gonna check on my phone to see if I can see it. Oh, hi Rebecca. Yay. Okay, so I'm live. We'll give it a couple of minutes so that people can join in. But today I'm going to use one of the page kits. Hi Kathy. I'm going to be using one of the page kits of the page kits that I put together, and we'll make a page. So I printed some pictures, and I have to be honest. Hi, Kathy. Kathy. I printed those maybe 15 minutes ago. Hi, Esther from Holland. Ooh, I would love to go to Holland. My husband and I were talking about that this weekend, about all the different places we want to go. Can't wait. So this is some pictures of this past June. It was actually on Father's Day, and you can barely see my husband there, but he's there. We went to a national park that is about an hour from here, and they have a ton of trails. And so we went for an afternoon, and with Mason and my oldest daughter, his mom, and the other two kids couldn't come. They were both working. But we went on trails. Good morning, Sandy. So I want to document that. And this is the page kit. And it was all leftover scraps. And that's one of my favorite ways to put a page together is to use some scraps. And I had one sheet that was a full sheet. So that's going to be my background. And then I went into my stash and just chose 2 sheets of cardstock, which one is kind of almost the same color of this as the background. And then this one is more like the color. Hi, Ozell from Massachusetts. And this is the same color as, like, it's a tone on tone. So it really goes well together. So I'll just, well, it's going to be easy to say what pattern papers I'm using because it's all from the same collection. It's Echo Park This and That from Lori Whitlock. And this is a 2012, if I remember correctly. Yes, 2012 collection. It's one of my favorites of all times. I think I bought, at the time I bought like 3. And I am down to like, I have very few that I have the full sheet. So we'll get started and people will, trickle in, I imagine. It's now 1:04, so I'll just take the branding strip off of that. So what are you guys up to today? Hi, Joanne. Oh, you're back to work? So you must be a little better, or your time off from your surgery is done? How are you feeling? I know going back after having a surgery can kind of be ouchy. So I think I'm going to mat my pictures right away. I think I'll put them all together. I printed them on my Canon Selfie. Your time off is done. Oh, the first days are going to be so hard. I know my first days back, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can make it. It was the first 2 days, and then I was back to 300 emails. Yeah, that's a lot to to go through. So I'm going to use my ATG gun, and you're going to see I'm going to be struggling with it. I don't know if it's the whole roll. It was so hard to use. Quite a few times I wanted to just take the whole thing and just, not the ATG, but the roll, and just chuck it. But I decided to just power through and just use it. So I think I'm going to just mount it with the darker one, I think is what I want to do. And I'm going to mount my photos in the center. Did you guys have a nice weekend? It was a long weekend for us, so my husband was off yesterday too, so it was nice. Although yesterday I wasn't feeling good. I'm still feeling kind of like a little kind of woozy, but we're going to power through. I feel better than I did yesterday. But it was a long weekend. Yesterday was New Brunswick Day, so I guess it would only be people in New Brunswick that would have had that. Sometimes you get a bad roll, yeah, I would say, because I was wondering if there was something wrong with my ATG gun. So this morning I was working on a couple of things because, as you know, in August I'm doing a video a day. So I was working on some of those this morning. And then on Saturday, for the design team that I'm on, we're doing some of our favorite things. So I was taking pictures of some of my favorite things so that I can do the layout for that. So I think after this live, I'm going to be doing my layout. Not maybe, I will, because I'm going back to work tomorrow, so I have to have the whole thing done today. Just want to say they're called Perfect Layers. These are from Stampin' Up, and they have little edges so that you can choose the size of your mat around your photo, and then you just take a knife and you just, cut around it. So I use the 1/16, so it is a very small mat. Now, you can get them now, but they're from We Are Memory Keepers, and I've seen them on Simon Says Stamps. Sometimes they're, out of stock or whatever. And I think there's even more rulers in the one from, what is it? We Are Memory Keepers, yeah. So I love those. I did take a picture of this because that's one of my favorite things. So now, let's see what we can do with some of those layers. Like I said, one of the ways you have them, Sandy, I love them too. You know what? They sat in my stash for the longest time because in my old craft room, I didn't have a place for everything. So everything was kind of, stashed. So I didn't use a lot of stuff. But now in my new room, I kind of have stuff more, better organized. So I seem to use my stuff a little bit more, which is nice. Now, one of my favorite way to scrap is with scraps. I don't like to have scraps. It's kind of a bit big. I don't know. I don't know whether I love it or hate it, right? I love it because I love to scrap with it, but I don't like to have scraps all over my room. So I guess the way to deal with that is, instead of having, multiple drawers of scraps, I just have one. And then once it gets full, just give me a sec. I'm going to have to text my son to take the dog out. I took him out a while ago, and he's asking again. And he's right beside me. I don't know if you can hear him. Just a minute, Louie. I think, you know what? I think he likes to go outside because it's nice. It's not super hot today. Go downstairs. Go downstairs. So he's coming up next to me and he's licking me and he's whining. So I just texted my son. Hopefully he'll get the text and he'll come and get Louie. Because when he goes outside, it's not as if I can just put him outside and come back upstairs. We have to watch him. Because I'm afraid he... No, you need to go outside. Look, Josh, I'll take you. Go. Josh, I'll take you. Go. No, he heard Josh, so he went downstairs. Yay. What a puppy. Okay. Thankfully, Josh is here. Or we would have heard him whine for the entire time. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to make those two the same size and then overlay them. And I'm kind of lazy and I don't feel like measuring. So as long as it's close to the same size. So I'm just going to, and I don't know where my pencil is. So let me see if I can do this. And here, there we go. So you guys working on anything today or just chilling? Well, I love this, my Caterpillar, but it does have a learning curve. Every time somebody asks me how I like it, I say I love it, but it does have a learning curve. You have to, because other trimmers have like a band that you push down and you hold that and it holds your paper. That doesn't. So if you don't hold your paper perfectly, it will cut crooked. So once you get used to that, I really love it. Don't know how I want to put this thing. What do you find the hardest about starting a layout? Do you find like choosing your papers the hardest? Do you find like coming up with a design the hardest? I find that's what takes me the longest. I find because I do my page kits, my kits are already done, so that helps. And so I have my pattern papers, I have my embellishments and all that. And then my pictures, I usually don't have too much trouble. I think once you take a lot of pictures, you know, it's easier to... Is the design? Yeah, that's what I find too. I find, you know, but a lot of times how I decide my design is with how I put up my pictures. You dwell the longest on the embellishments. I used to also, but I find ever since I started making the page kits, there are my embellishments. So once I can decide on my design, I'm going to just, hi Karen, I'm just going to, you know, grab the embellishments that I think, you know what, I think I'm going to put this so that it highlights this one, so it really separates those two. So I'll put like a 1/2 inch border at the top. Sometimes paper, yeah, that's another thing why, like I said, I like scrapping with scraps. You know, you just go through and you grab a whole bunch of papers that you've already used, so you know you like them, you've used them. You might have already used them together, but because it's scraps, I have my fan on, I don't know if you can tell. It keeps flipping my pattern paper over when I'm trying to put my ATG on it. But But I find once like this, because the pattern papers was a certain size. Hi, Maria from Sweden. Like that pattern paper, I just cut it down, you know, from 2 inches. And really, I could have, if I wanted to, I could have used it that size too, and then just kind of put it off to one side. I could have done that. But just by changing and sometimes using pattern papers, I find it helps decide the design. I was going to say, lost my scissors again, but I found them. So what are some of the TV shows you guys are watching? I need something new to watch. I'm all caught up on a lot of stuff. Not that I'll be able to watch anything for the next, probably till Monday, next Monday. Hi, Rebecca. GA, is that Georgia? I'm not sure. So I think I like that. I like that I put that band there because it really separates it. Now, I'm going to need something for the journaling. What's left? Oh, I hope The Good Doctor's coming back. I love that show so much. We have quite a few new favorites. Elementary? I thought about... Oh, it's near Atlanta. Okay. Cool. I know, the new season for TV. This summer we're watching Big Brother, which I love. Which is 3 times a week, right? So it does... We're a little bit behind. But I love Station 19. Oh, love that. That's a new show. It's kind of a spin-off Grey's Anatomy. Oh yeah, I have these too that I can use. Little borders. Let's see if I can use them somewhere. Yeah, I love that spin-off. Deadwood? Oh, my friend told me about that one. She really likes it too. You know what? My TV show taste is like my reading show. Or my reading. Hi, Angie from Pensacola. My TV show taste, it's like my reading taste. I like everything except nonfiction and horror. So I like, you know, all The Handmaid's Tale. Yes, I want to watch that, but I want to read the book first. So I need to put it on my TBR soon. My to be read pile is Station 19. Oh, it's a brand new show. If you like firefighter shows and with like medical in there, because it's a spin-off Grey's Anatomy. So Miranda's husband, he moved over to Station 19, and you know, in Grey's Anatomy, hi Pearl from Alberta, fellow Canadian. He changed his career and he said he wanted to be a fireman. So now he's on this new show, Station 19. Love it. Absolutely love it. Actually, the other day, what is that show where, oh my goodness, it's Family Feud On Family Feud, they had Grey's Anatomy against Station 19. And it was really good. I really liked it. I almost never watch Family Feud, but my family really loves it. So when it was them on it, then I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch it. I'm trying to use every bit of different pattern paper that I had with this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to achieve it. It's so good. I love it. Maybe I can add a little bit of this. Like maybe if I cut it down. Yes, I did. I watched 911. I love it. That's what you mean, right? It's just called 911? With the actress that used to be in, Nashville? Love it. I know, Rebecca, I love those patterns too. They're so, like, they're really, really, like, they're 6 years old. And I still absolutely love them. Like the first day that I bought them. And I'm feeling a little sad that... Hi, Amy. I'm feeling a little sad that I'm getting like to the end of them. But it is what it is. I gotta use it, right? It's not gonna do me any good. Code Black is done. I'm a few seasons behind. The Gifted. Oh, I hope that's coming back too. I'm a few seasons behind on Code Black. But I think isn't that on Prime? Code Black? I thought I saw it somewhere and I'm like, yes, I can catch up. Because a lot of stuff is not on Netflix. Not on the Canadian Netflix anyway. And finally, with Amazon Prime, just started lately, we can get TV shows. It was renewed. Yay. Can't wait. Because the guy that's on Gifted, he used to be on True Blood. I watched the whole, that whole season of True Blood, like the whole show of True Blood. Quite a few years ago, actually. I wanted to do sort of like one of those journals about my TV shows that that I'm watching or want to watch and kind of keep track. Because sometimes when I go back to a show, if I don't write down where I'm at, like for example, if I go back to Code Black and I want to watch it again, it can take me up to like an hour to figure out like where I'm at. And, you know, I could be watching a whole episode. I hate wasting time. Totally hate it. I'm the kind of person that likes to multitask. So I don't like wasting time. I don't know if I like that polka dot. That's why I keep moving it. Don't know if I like it. Not sure. Oh, person of interest. That too. I guess I'm not caught up on all the shows. I need my little book. I need my little book that tells me which show I'm watching. I was going to say maybe I should work on that for my video a day for August, but you know what? I pretty much have all my videos all either recorded or planned out for August. You know what? I think I'm going to put this. You like the dots? I keep taking them off and on, but maybe Maybe if I cover some of them and they just kind of pop. Or maybe, where's the rest of the dots? What did I do with the rest? Do you find things disappear in your scrap room? I don't understand. And you're going to have a good laugh with this, okay? I can see papers disappearing, embellishments disappearing. Like, I can see that because they can, you know, like fall on the floor and go under your desk or something like that. But the other day, I was using a punch. You know those little punches? I'll go get one just to show you. So it's not that little. It's still like a fairly big size. Under the cutter. Yes. It is. Thank you. Thank you, Lolas. Anyway, I was using one of these for a corner rounder, and it went off my desk. And this was like 2 weeks ago. I have to say, I didn't look for it like very hard, but I looked for it for at least a good 5 minutes. I just keep forgetting to look for it. I still haven't found it. Like, this is not something that can slip or stick to something else. It's a bloody, it's a paper punch. Oh my goodness. You guys too? Like, I don't understand. I don't know if I want the bigger one. Pens, they disappear? Yes. I have these pens that I journal with. And I bought like 24, and I think I'm down to like maybe 6. It's like, okay, I just had one not that long ago. Like, where did it go? Tanya, there's gremlins in my room. Sewing pins? Yes, and those are dangerous. Because then, ouch. They end up in your foot somehow. Okay, so do you guys like the wider polka dot? Because it's not quite across the whole picture, but it's almost. I think I like that one better. I think I didn't like this because it kind of was open too much. Maybe I can put my journaling, like maybe put this here. I don't know if I want to use the whole or just cut it down. Maybe I can do like this. I'm going to cut the top of this off because then I can use it somewhere else. I find this is what takes me the longest. The landscape like that. Yeah, me too. I think that's what I like too. No, I know I want to use this. I know I want to use this. Okay, well, let's put at least this down. And before I do that, I think I'm going to ink the edges. Do you guys like to ink the edges of your pattern papers, or do you just leave them uninked? I think sometimes I do, and I think it depends on my mood. It's not really like, oh, you know, it makes it look like it belongs together or anything like that, which it does, don't get me wrong. But I think it's more that if I feel a little lazy, you always ink the edges, Joanne. I can't say that I always do, because sometimes I'm like, I have to find the perfect ink. I think it depends on my mood. Yeah, I like the look of it, but I don't always do it either. Sandy. And the only thing I can blame it on is sometimes I feel a little lazy. And not that it takes that long, but sometimes I think it's more to that I get into making the page so much that I start putting everything down and I'm like 3/4 done and I'm like, oh, I could have inked the edges. That would have looked good. But at that point, you know me and ripping up stuff, I don't mind doing it, but at that point I'm like, it's good. Yes. I need to let the perfect ink go. Just like the perfect embellishment, right? That's right. Which, you know what? I don't think I mentioned that too when I was saying about, you know, letting the perfect embellishment go. And I just thought of this. Sometimes when you... Is that crooked? Maybe, but oh well. When you use things with words like this, and it might be not related, like right now it's too small, I can't tell. But if it's not related to what you're doing and you still want to use it, just put the words upside down and then people won't try to read it. Like right now, all my words are upside down. I didn't even pay attention to how I put it on the page. Just like, it's okay. You know what? Scrapbooking is, to a lot of us, I think, a way to really kind of chill and relax and have fun and do stuff with friends. Hi, Tara. She's from Louisiana. Awesome. Yes. Me too. I get putting the page together and I'm like, oh, I probably should have inked the edges, but it's okay. I thought of it today, so yay. Yes, we do, you know, scrapbooking. Oh, yes. That horrible roll is done. If you're just joining me, I was talking about that roll was giving me such a headache. It was so hard to use. So I'm not sorry that it's done at all. And what I have is, I always have my second one ready so I don't have to stop. Whether I'm filming or doing a live. Hi, Joe from Mississippi. Or I'm just scrapbooking. I don't like to stop for any... Oh, look how smooth that is. Oh, so easy. I don't like to stop to load my ATG gun. Actually, probably what I usually do is I don't reload this gun until this is done, and then I just do both at once, and then I don't have to do it for a long time. Let's see, I'm chatting and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I think I want to put it up a little bit, and then it gives me room for this. I don't know if I want to do this part. I know I want to cut off the top because then I can use this somewhere else. But I don't know. You know what I could do is not use it as a frame at all, but use it as an embellishment. So actually cut this off. There we go. And then that way I can use, because I have a bit to say. And then I can use this somewhere else. And this says, today was a good day. And it was. We had so much fun. 'Cause then I can use this somewhere else. And 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 then I can Thankfully, Mason, this is a national park that is about an hour away from where we live. It's called Fundy Park. And they have tons of trail ranging from easy to difficult. Now, we did 2 trails that day, or 3 trails. We hiked for quite a few hours. And we even did a moderate trail, which Mason complained on the easy trail, but he didn't complain on the moderate trail. And it was so funny because when we got at the end of the trail, he said, and I didn't, we said, oh, we're done. And he said, and I didn't even whine. And we said, no, you didn't. Good job. He calls it like it is. But we've been telling him, we've been taking him on hikes. We went on another walk there. When was that? Last weekend? We live in New Brunswick. So this is Fundy Park. I'm in Moncton, New Brunswick, and this is about an hour from us. So yeah, I'm trying to think where we took him walking. I can't even think. It was just last week. Oh, and we went camping. That's what it is. We took him camping, and we went for a hike, and he started to, I really don't want to, and I don't like this. And we said, you know, we are going on that, we're climbing a mountain next week. Next week sometime. The week of the 13th. So that's not next week. Yeah, it's next week. And he wants to come. And we said, well, it's like a 3-hour walk. So if you want to come with us on that, because he's been telling us that he wants to come, we said, you know, you need to kind of train. You can't just do that. So then he did the rest of the trail, no problem. So this is my favorite part. The kind of design is done. Now I knew I wanted to put this underneath. Now I just take the embellishments that I put together for my page kit, and now I start putting them around the layout. And this was an outdoorsy day, so I'm going to try and fit that butterfly somehow. Maybe up here. I love that tag, so I want to use that tag. I'll probably cut that tag and use it in 2 different spots because I love tags. And then I just start layering and start seeing where I like to put stuff. But I find, because I'm not looking at my entire craft room for embellishments or a whole bunch of stickers or die cuts, or I just make do with what I have here in this little stash, and I make it work. Let me see. And I don't know if you had seen, I didn't talk about it before I start going through it, but before I started the live, because I was just waiting for time to start, I had kind of divided my stuff with what I can use as an embellishment foundation and then what I can use as the top of the embellishments. So then as I'm, you know, putting stuff together, I can just start layering them. Now I find this is quite white. This ink here is called frayed burlap. So I think I'm going to gently just kind of put a little bit of ink all over my journaling block, and it'll make it so it's not so stark white. Another thing too, do you find sometimes you make mistakes when you write down your journaling and then you're like, you don't want to start over again? I still use my whiteout. So I use my whiteout, and then if I hadn't planned to do something like this, then I do it. I just take a light ink like this, and then I just go over it, and especially the part where I did my whiteout, I ink over top, and then I write over top of it, and then you can't even tell that I made a mistake. It's awesome. It works really well. So let's start gluing stuff down. So we are still, I talked last week about how we've been having a heat wave. We're still having a heat wave. And this weekend we did have a little bit of reprieve as far as we had rain. But this was not good. When we got back from camping last time, my husband, because when we had left the morning of the camping, we had one of those off the trailer, like an awning that would come out. And it was still a little damp when we rolled it up. So when we got home, he unrolled it or put it up. Hi, Sylvia from Texas. And then he didn't put it away right away. And we had, overnight, we had this massive rainfall. Like, I think it was buckets of water. And it tore our awning right off our tent trailer. And it must have been some heavy because it even wrecked the inside of our tent trailer. Like it ripped a board and I was like, no. Now my husband temporarily fixed the inside. I said, I don't care about the awning. If you can fix it, great. If you can't, you know, whatever. But the inside, I want to be able to camp again. We need to camp when we go climb the mountain. So he did fix it temporarily. And then he has a week off. So I think during that week he's going to fix it. But I was so sad. It's like, no. It is an older one. I think it's 18 years old. But we've taken good care of it, so it's still in good shape. Well, it was in good shape. I have confidence in my hubby. I know he'll fix it. Okay, so I'm going to work on this one here. I'm going to put that tag there just because I like tags. And then I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to put this on foam tape. I find once I get my pattern paper here, it hasn't rained since May, Amy. Wow. Everything must be so dry. We've had quite a bout of, like I said, a heat wave. But we did have rain over the weekend. Quite a bit of it. So this is a roll of foam tape that one of my subscribers sent to me. Yes, better now than when camping. Yes. Although, you know what? My husband, when we go camping, he takes his tools with him. And then, so if something like that happens, he would fix it right there. I don't know if you guys remember, last year, 2 years ago, we went camping to the White Mountains. We went and climbed Mount Washington. And on the way there, one of the springs of our tent trailer broke. And thankfully it broke just as we were arriving. Like we were maybe 10 minutes from the campground. And so we found this place where we could, because we were there for 2 weeks. So we found this place where we could order the parts. Ordered the parts. And yeah, he fixed it at the campground. which it ended up costing us like maybe like $100 or something like that. But if we would have had to take it somewhere, you know, to get fixed on the run like that, like, okay, we need this fixed right away, it probably would have cost us like $500. So it's a good thing that he's brings his stuff like that, and he's handy, which is kind of funny because he's a computer nerd. You too, Sandy, you've had a hot, dry summer, which, you know what? I'm not complaining. I love. Absolutely love. Like I said, we plan. You remember that, Sandy? And that's the time that the bear came in campground too, and my husband could hear it growling, and I was like, come in. I mean, it wasn't close to where he was, but he could hear people shouting, you know, bear. And he could hear it growling. Eesh. But when you're in the mountains like that, right? When we drove into the campground, they gave us like a little information sheet that said what to do if you encounter a bear. And my answer to that was die, because I probably would have a heart attack right there, because I am petrified of bears. Which, not to the point that, you know, we don't go for walks and that kind of stuff, but I'm still scared. Actually, because where I live is in the country, and somebody said that they saw a bear the road that we... Yes, I did do voiceovers on my vacation that summer. Wow, you have a great memory, Joanne. Yes, I did do. You know what? I brought all my stuff to do voiceovers on our last camping trip, but I didn't do it. I just chilled. I really... Mason and Dave would go do stuff. Like if I didn't feel like it, I just stayed behind and, you know, got supper ready or something like that. But I ended up reading. I'm having a great reading year this year. And I think that's why I haven't been watching a lot of shows. It's because I'm reading instead of watching shows. Which, that's okay. I'll be able to catch up. Plus, it's summer. And I just remember how nasty our weather is in the winter. So I'm trying to go outside and enjoy the nice weather. Now, as you can tell, I was going to do this. But can you tell there's going to be some trapped space? I don't like that. So that's what I mean when I say when I put stuff together, I kind of look and say, okay, this butterfly is touching this, and it's touching this, and it's touching my background. So I like that better than having that little space in the middle there. Now here's the same. So I'm going to try to find something to fill that void. Now sometimes I find something right away to fill that little void, and sometimes I just keep it in mind because I don't know what I want to do with it. So instead of like sitting there and looking at this for 10 minutes, I'll go on and move to something else. And then when I figure out what I want to do with it, then I move on to it. Kind of like that flower. Let me see if I can find... That actually kind of is good because quite a few times he said, pick me up. And do you remember I talked about, you know, I didn't know what I was going to do with this, but a lot of times things work out. Like this worked out. This butterfly, we were outside. Today was a good day. It was a good day. Picture perfect. That was picture perfect. we were lucky to be able to do that. And Mason said that quite a few times that day. Pick me up. So that worked out good. Joanne, Nicole, what's the reason that you read 2 books at the same time? Good question. And actually, I was going to talk about that when I do my next, not the next one that you'll see of my mini album, but that's okay. I'll talk about it now. The reason I read at least 2 to 4 books at a time is one of the books that I read is always on audio, so that a lot of times when I'm scrapbooking, I'll actually listen to an audiobook, or when I drive back and forth to work, I have an almost 20+ minute drive to back and forth to work each way. So I don't like to listen to music. I listen to audiobooks. So I listen to an audiobook. Usually another type of book that I always read is on my Kindle. And usually I'll read on my Kindle once I get to that point that I feel too tired to have the light on, but I'm not still quite tired enough to sleep. So then I'll start reading on my Kindle. And then I have a physical book. And sometimes I have 2 physical books because last year, and I know this is not going to be like a popular opinion, but I was reading, last year I wasn't doing that. And I was reading Gone Girl, and I did not like that book at all. I think on Goodreads, I might have given it a 3-star. Maybe I brought it down to a 2-star. But I didn't like the book at all. And just the thought of picking up a book every day, or picking up that book every day, it put me in a huge reading slump that I ended up like not reading a lot. So then I decided, you know what, instead of doing that, and I don't like to what they call DNF a book, because the book might change. I might end up liking it. The author did take time to read the books, and I have to say, it takes a lot for me not to like a book. Most books I will like. I think my taste in books is the same as my taste in shows. Like, I like a lot of stuff. So a lot of times I'll be like, you know what? I really want to give it a chance. But it puts me in a horrible reading slump if I'm not enjoying the book. So by reading more than one book, then I can say, okay, I can at least read like 50 pages of that book, and then I'll have something good to read. Something that I enjoy. I don't know, maybe I should not finish a book, but I'm so afraid to miss something that I'm really going to enjoy. You almost listen to one and read another? Yeah, me too. Only because, like I said, the drive to work, I like to listen to an audiobook. And when I'm scrapbooking lately, I've been listening to Harry Potter. I'm only listening to one right now. Yeah, when you're not, and I'm funny that way. I think whenever, I have to read, when I have to do something, and I don't know if it's because I'm, does that mean I'm a difficult person? But if I have to do something, then I don't know, I don't feel like doing it. Is that my teenage me coming out? I don't want to do it. Wouldn't admit that to my kids, right? I think, you know what? My favorite part is the embellishments. Man, I love putting embellishments together. And I think it's because it's just so, because they're all, I've already chosen them, so I don't have to think. Just go between the embellishments or embellishment clusters and decide how I'm going to put them. And a lot of times, the design of my layout will be determined by the embellishments that I pulled. So let's say if I pulled a lot of frames, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I'll use frames, and put them out on my layout. So a lot of times the design also gets determined because of... Now, is that worth inking? Those little things? They're so little. I don't think I'm going to ink those ones. And I find too that my embellishment clusters are a little bit more full because I try to use as much as I can from the embellishment clusters that I took from there. And sometimes a lot of these embellishments are like a second chance. Yay. Okay. What about this button? Can I use this button? I only have one. I'm okay with that. I'm okay to have one thing. Like I probably could have separated those two hearts and put one of the hearts there. You keep losing me? Oh no. I wonder if it's on my end. Anybody else? It's buffering? Aw. No. Uh-oh. Did you guys lose me? Let me check. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened. It says, oh, I'm back? Okay. Because I was going to say, it says that I'm still on. Okay. Phew. I was like, oh no, I'm not a techie. I can figure stuff out when I need to, but not on the fly. Yeah. Hi, Copy Crafter. I think everybody lost me for a minute. It said that the input of the video wasn't high, or I don't know. Probably my internet probably went down for a minute. Who knows? You know what? I think I'm going to move the little hearts closer to the butterfly. I think. I like to be able to move stuff and try it out. I think I like it right there, next to the butterfly. It felt a little too separated before. And then I just got to add, I'm going to add this little button. This little button right here. Oh, come on. I love these fine line bottles, but sometimes I don't like to put the cover on all the time. Again, goes with being lazy. It's a lot of work to take it off and put it on and take it off. So I find it clogs up. I should put it on because I think I'm just about done. Because one of my last things I love to do You have to go back to work, Ozelle? You basically watched it all because I think I'm going to be done in like the next 5 minutes. Yeah, the next one, I'm going to try and do one on Sunday, but I'll have to wait till closer to the day, like August 12th. I'll have to wait till closer to the date because it's the weekend and, you know, we might want to do something. So it might be at night. Awesome, Sylvia. You'll find that they are so addicting to do. It's almost like my favorite part of scrapbooking now is to do these page kits. Now, what about a title? I think I'm just going to use this picture perfect. In my journaling, I'm going to talk about how this was Father's Day and that stuff. But I think that'll be it. I might put some splatters. Yeah, how about some splatters in brown? I use some colorings from Shimmers called Chocolate Brownie. And I've been really good. That's right, you don't have to go through all your scrap room to find stuff. It's nice to make a kit first because then, you know, you can just even narrow it down to that, and then you make a whole bunch and then you're good for quite a while. And then when you run out, you make some more. Like I think I have one page kit left before I made those 10. So they don't go, let's say, if you want to say, to waste. And I don't put my pictures in there because then, you know, those pictures might go a long time without being scrapped. The only time I put my pictures is when I go to a crop. The rest of the time, I just choose the pictures just before. Yes. I'm the same way because I'm like, you know, for quite a few months, I was making page kits and page kits and page kits. And I ended up with quite a bit. And then I was like, you know what? I can't make any more page kits until I actually use some of those page kits. So then I used all of them. So all those papers, pattern papers, are all used up. Well, yay, that came together really quickly. An hour with a lot of chatting. There we go. So just added a little bit of splatters. So I have a little bit of embellishments left. Quite a bit, actually, but that's okay. I'll use it in my September, the scrapathon. I'll make sure that they're in some of the embellishments for that. That's it. That's gonna complete this layout. Yay! Bye, Copy Crafter. Have fun at work. I start back tomorrow for 3 days. Already looking forward to Saturday morning. So I want to thank you all for watching. And like I said, I'll schedule the one for Sunday, probably Friday night, Sunday morning. It'll probably be Sunday night because we'll probably want to do something Sunday afternoon, like go for a hike or something like that. And I'll do it at night because a few people asked if I could do it on the weekend. And absolutely, we'll try to squeeze at least a couple on the weekend. This time we'll do it on a Sunday night, and another time maybe we'll do it on a Friday night, just to try, and then some other ones during the week, just so that everybody can join live. Thank you, Jen. Thanks, Pearl. Bye, Sylvia. Bye, Sandy. Thank you so much for coming with me and chatting with me today. It was so much fun. Bye, guys. We'll talk to you on my daily videos. Talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you, Roselle.